Hello and welcome to my garden tour. Today is June 18th, 2024. Do a little walkabout. I don't really use my front entrance gate anymore. You see the asparagus is draping down so pretty. It's about to encompass that rose bush. There's my little hen house. It's so hot in central Missouri this week. It's in the 90s, but it's just scorching here. So I opened up their little Dutch door and put a net in the front to keep them safe. This is the little compost bin for weeds and chicken poo and such. Here's my cute little new garden gate I made, and I cut a hole in the fence here. It's so much easier. I have a giant zucchini that I swear I planted 3 weeks ago, and I can literally tell these things have grew like an inch from this morning. There's the asparagus. This is my little work area. I could not do without this little work area. I keep a lot of tools here and totes and clippies. I use a lot of shade cloths, and as I accidentally pull out strawberries, I put them in this tote and usually just give them away. I've got a blackberry bush for someone. We've got squash. This week I had to get the shade cloths out. I have some late cabbage in there that's not ready, but the bugs have found it. This is some kind of new variety of spinach from Baker Creek. The bugs sure love it down low, but I'm letting it go to seed so I can harvest my own seeds this year instead of paying $2.99 for 14 seeds. Gonna harvest my own. Got a lot of squash going. This is a zucchini. Still got some lettuce, some kale, lots of dill. Have lots of things replants itself. Still getting just a couple of probably some everbearing strawberries from long ago. Noticed a couple there and another one over here yesterday. If something hasn't ate it already, there it is. Looks like it's ripe enough. I'll have a nice little treat tonight. My strawberries are long gone. My strawberries bloom in early June. As you can see, this lettuce is almost finished up. I'm still growing it. I feed it to the grandkids, little guinea pig, but I've already got a squash in there. I'd rather just grow things as pull weeds. The strawberries have came along my path here and helping themselves, and I'm just going to let them. I've got some very weedy onions that I'm so ready to pull and clean that up. I've got my strawberries shaded my pepper garden. Got lots of nice peppers coming on here. In between each pepper plant, I've got lettuce. Still have a few weeds in there, but that's okay. There's some kind of giant kale from Vietnam or somewhere. That's a Baker Creek deal. Got a lot of chard, although it's pretty bitter right now. Chickens like it though. I'll have lots of peppers coming on here. Lots and lots of blooms. This is some Brussels sprouts that I don't know if it's gonna do anything or not. It's so hot here now. Green beans, tomatoes, and dill. I let all the dill that volunteers near my tomatoes, I just let it go because it deters tomato worms. They don't like the smell of it. Any kind of an umbrella plant like this, whether it be like cilantro or dill, any real pungent plant, tomato worms do not like it. I don't think there is one tomato worm out here in this garden, but my tomatoes are setting lots of fruit. There's a weed right there, needs to go. Tomatoes aren't looking too bad. I've got some bush green beans here. More bush green beans along that fence. I have just a big variety of peppers here. These climbing green beans replant themselves every year on this trellis. I actually have to thin some. This is a nice zucchini. I've planted them in tin cans. If you're lucky enough to find an old-fashioned tin can that you can still cut both ends out, you can plant your zucchini in one that's like 2 or 3 days old. Slip the can around it like this, and whatever those bugs are called that enter at like the dirt level and cause squash vine borer, yes, they can't get in. And actually, see how all the stems are up off the ground anyway? It forces it to grow in an upright position. It's just an easy solution. I've had it fail and I've had it work. We're gonna see. I have had to replant my okra 3 times now, and I sowed it like turnips. I got it so thick. I'll have to come out here and thin this, but that's okay. I've got a new little spot to plant here that had turnips. Another onion bed. More bush green beans. Some lettuce that the wind has blew my shade cloth off. I'm trying to keep things from getting so bitter. And this is summer radish that I'm let go into seed. Just look at all of that. If the seeds would just keep, I would have enough radish seed to last me 10 lifetimes. Just look at all the seed it's producing. Just got a few carrots that the rabbits loved way too much. More strawberries. These are more squash that I'm going to have to. This is a different kind of squash. This is just yellow squash. It's not crookneck. I'll have to thin these out and move some. I'll probably move them at the base of these blackberries right here. I had spinach in here all spring, and looks like we're going to have a nice crop of blackberries. We've had a lot of rain until the last 2 weeks. We sure are needing a rain now. And we have had just incredible high winds today. Like this little garden owl has just been straight out all day long. It's just crazy. I'll get out here tomorrow and I'll move some squash here, and I'm hoping to start picking some blackberries soon. Typically we pick around July the 4th. That one's about ready. When usually just one gets ripe by itself. The chickens are right there. I just toss it in, they get a nice little treat. It's handy having the chickens right next to the garden. I toss stuff all the time to them. More onions. These are a long, skinny, burpless cucumber. And I'm shading them just a little bit, putting them under dappled shade. Cucumbers can just burn up in Missouri this late in the year, and they're just getting going. I've got some little tiny, not hot jalapenos under there that probably aren't going to do much. It's just so late in the year, I just didn't get them going. I started them from seed and should have started them a lot earlier than I did. Well, that's what I've got growing now. These are all volunteer tomatoes right here. When I find a volunteer plant, I can hardly just pull it and chuck it. I usually have to plant it somewhere. These are all store-bought. I usually do big girl, early girl. I can't remember. I plant everything pretty much my dad did. They do good for me. This is another little patch of cucumbers here. And some of them are starting to bloom. I should have some cucumbers before long. That's what I've got. It keeps me quite busy trying to keep it weeded, keep it watered, and when one thing comes out, I put something else in. This is a sweet autumn clematis vine here that planted itself here that I've let grow that I'm probably going to regret, because those things can reseed really easy. I know I'm going to end up plucking those things out for the rest of my life. That's it. Thanks for watching.